today, not me.
Well, I'm going to get you riled up again.
Uh-oh.
Think of the rat
Oh, she's
getting
bad.
that
She's
Gouda.
bad.
What'd you make of her interview recently where she goes, I've talked to Bravo and I've done the numbers, and Bravo tells me, don't even worry about the autism backlash, the hate. I know
Mhm.
it's Bravo has told me it's only 3% of the audience, and they're the loudest, but they're so tiny, they're so minuscule. Don't even worry about the hate. What do you think of the
Well,
rat?
your noises are very appropriate. She does scurry. Have you ever seen a rat that scurries, waddles, has beady eyes, and doesn't even deserve a piece of Gouda? She's really
Yeah,
she's
every
really
rat.
but Sarah, she's really misbehaved this season. Come on now. The rat has misbehaved.
Uh, well, I think we're seeing kind of the true rat, honestly, right?
Mhm.
I mean, I think the rat just other seasons had more redeemable qualities. This season, to your point, they don't want to get rid of Shannon. So they can't have a season where it's all about Shannon being an alcoholic.
Mhm.
So it's about Shannon's we have a lot of pity and empathy for Shannon. The rat, none. We don't really see a lot of Eddie. We see Eddie trying to keep her out of trouble. It doesn't work. But the rat seems to think Bravo's got her back. And I mean, this is the part that made me laugh, though. I mean, do we really think only 3%? I mean, come on, that autism thing, there ain't one person who wrote to her and said, oh, I guess Jacqueline from Larita.
Yeah, and I think she's in. I think Miss Loretta got a slap on the wrist for that one. She went against the scumbag lawyer and Teresa.
No
You
one
can't,
believes that
you can't
Tamra
support the
is the
rat, Jacqueline
from.
Loretta, girl. You better not be supporting the rat because Tamra spoke out against Louie and BravoCon, and Teresa's gonna call you. She tried to come into my world, and I had to run away. Get involved with a corporation she's involved with. Get me out of there. I have mixed feelings on this one too. Today's a very
Oh, you do?
interesting
All
day.
right. I think she's
Well,
delusional. I think it was
you know,
way more than 3%. Way more. Like
you
I
know
mean,
what's so funny? I agree with you. You know what's so funny though is what's the word? That it is that hatred noise. Like, when I have Melissa's old nose on, we just had her back and she'll be back, guys. Someone said to me, I think last week they left a public comment, which I love the public comments. Slip into the DMs with a nasty comment, you get blocked. Leave a public comment. That's what the world is for. And they were like, David, if you keep speaking ill of Teresa, no one's going to listen to your podcast. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's straighten out a few things. I'm going to keep speaking ill about Teresa when she acts like a fucking animal. Melissa's old nose will be back, and everyone's still listening. So my point is that noise, that hatred noise, it rings loud, and as an adult, you just let it exist. You don't address it. You never try to change people's negative public perception of you, even if it's completely false. Ignore because their minds are already made up. So I like what Tamara's actually saying, believe it or not, that the noise isn't as many people as you think. I think I agree with you, though. I think it's more than 3%. I haven't spoken to a couple people on the YouTube say, no, I actually like the rat. I like her. She's doing a good job.
oh,
But
I
I,
like Teresa and Louie way more than the rat.
ooh,
I
you
don't,
poor thing. You poor thing.
I know you're in the world, really, RHONJ a lot better. But I mean, I just take Teresa and Louie for what they are, which is amazing television. Now, I know behind the scenes, I'm
Yeah.
sure what they do, if I was in that circle and feeling their wrath, I would feel way different. But I love
They're
my
like little scumbags behind the scene. That's the problem I have. But
I met my Louie in Vegas. He thought I worked for NBC. He was looking for the penthouse party. Why I didn't follow Louie and pretend that I was with NBC
yeah,
for I'll never forgive myself. However, He seemed nice. The guys he was with were very polite. So I don't know. I don't dislike Teresa as much as you do, but you're also an expert in it. And I'm sure if you watched Sister Wives, like
Mhm.
I actually love Mary. Mary's not really a fan favorite, and Christine and Janelle are fan favorites. And I sort of don't like Christine as well this season. And that's very, very unpopular. People love Christine. So
Is it as unpopular as me saying, I don't really see what Alexis did so wrong? Was it as unpopular as that? Or more unpopular? Are you being
well,
scandalous with the wives?
am I being scandalous? No, because I don't go super hard because I know, especially with TLC, they really edit. I mean, they edit all these shows, right? But they really edit. Cody and Robin are the villains of this show, and they do like at every turn, TLC just like makes him look like a shithead. Like every turn, I don't even think. Well, they try to redeem them once in a while, and they're trying to redeem Robin a bit this season, but they dump all over him. So
You
I just
have,
get
and
tired of
by the way,
shitting on the same
everybody,
person. I'm
Sarah,
like,
you have the number one Sister Wives podcast. We see you. You're trending girl with us wives. Number one
thank
Sister
you.
Wives podcast. Guys, if you want to talk about the wives, go to
It is
Sarah.
true. It is the number one, and I
I've
report on
never
their real
seen
lives.
I've
What's
yeah.
going on in there, and there's a lot actually. What's amazing about this season is there's a lot going on in their personal lives, which sometimes doesn't always happen with TLC people. But Christine Brown Woolley and David and Cody Brown are suing one another
Ooh,
for
girl.
well, she's suing him for custody, and she wants child support. It's good, and he's just bought a $2.1 million house. There's a lot of juicy stuff. So if you enjoy kind of like we do the recap of the gossip and the insight. I do have the
Mhm.
number one sister wife show.
You do. That's why we all tune in. I'll give it a listen. What was I gonna? I'll learn about the
Always says
wives.
this after 4 years.
No,
Thank you.
I'm gonna. Well, I don't listen to podcasts, but yours I'm gonna listen to, and I'm gonna do the wives. I don't
You
know.
help
So
other ways, so I don't care. Okay, go
I
on.
I think the rat has somewhat of a point. I do think she's not going anywhere, and I think it's more than 3%. But a lot of times the noise, it's louder than we think. Like like I think if you're into that Reddit like bullshit, like when you look into a phone, it's a whole nother world. And I think, that's where I did my 2 hour show on Teresa Giudice will be back because in our world, and she's up to this behind the scenes, to your point, here's a great example. We have a innocent viewer, Sarah Fraser, who loves Louie and Teresa. Like
I don't find them
Kelly, Kelly Ripa. Like the general masses, I think, aren't as in as what's the word? As informed as Sarah and David and these wonderful listeners. I think they're just like, of course Teresa's coming back. So to your point. So I think the rat has a point, but I agree with you way more than 3%. What else you got on over there? I'm pulling out
Andy
some
Cohen.
notes.
I love it. Andy
Oh,
Cohen talks Bethany Frankel, reality reckoning. I mean, Andy's like the genius of saying nothing, saying
uh,
everything and saying nothing. This was such a headline grab. And really, they ask him, what about Bethany in reality reckoning? And he says, I'm so busy developing the